Tonight, multiple COVID cases recorded in New South Wales Far West, and health authorities call for improved pay and conditions for regional doctors.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamane begins now.
Good evening. The Far West COVID crisis continues to deteriorate, with multiple new cases recorded across the district. Wilcannia is said to be a major area of concern, with health officials pleading for anyone who has recently been there to get tested.
One day, 633 cases across New South Wales, and COVID continues to close in on the Far West.
There are 3 more cases of COVID-19 in the Far West LHD. These are all located in Wilcannia.
Small and with a high Indigenous population, the news has health officials on edge.
People in the affected area through Western New South Wales and New South Wales more broadly need to be vigilant if they've been in Wilcannia in recent days.
The 3 new cases are all from one family and are isolating together. A 2-year-old and their parents testing positive, an 11-year-old sibling negative at this stage.
The funeral is really the event that appears to have led to the spread of the virus.
Around 100 people attended a funeral in Wilcannia last week. It's believed that's where yesterday's Broken Hill case contracted the virus. Cafe El Fresco's a known exposure site. Anyone who was there during these times on Monday must isolate for 14 days.
It's really contact tracing that will tell us if there are other exposure sites.
Testing hours ramped up even further with a pop-up clinic established on Creedon Street to reach our Indigenous community. COVID in the furthest reaches of the state, a fiery premier deflecting blame.
We have had and continue to have the right settings in place, but unfortunately too many people continue to do the wrong thing.
So the settings are right.
Excuse me, it's not your press conference.
As we're warned once again, the worst is yet to come. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
South Australia's leading doctors' groups are warning the state's rural towns will wither and die if an agreement cannot be reached with SA Health. The association's calling for more support for regional practitioners.
The state's rural doctors crying out for more resources. Discussions with SA Health said to have reached a stalemate.
Really in a desperate place. We really need more doctors. We need more doctors in training.
Australian Medical Association South Australia Vice President saying the need for more rural doctors has reached a critical junction.
It really needs a boost. We really need a boost to get doctors out here and give us the ability to deliver health to rural people.
In a statement, SA Health says the Rural Support Service has been working with the Rural Doctors Association and the Australian Medical Association of South Australia to finalise an agreement for medical services at country hospitals. A workforce plan has also been developed to ensure the ongoing ability to recruit rural GPs, aiming to ease extra pressure and stress currently placed on rural practitioners.
Equivalent of 1 GP per 2,000 patients, whereas in a city it's about 1 GP per 500 patients. So we're basically at one quarter workforce.
The member for Flinders hopes the two parties can come to an agreement in the near future.
Absolutely understand the frustration of the doctors. They need certainty in relation to their contracts with SA Health.
The Doctors Association's now holding out to hear from SA Health in the coming weeks. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A Port Augusta man has been charged with multiple drink driving offences. This weekend, police received calls about a reported hoon driver around Port Augusta West. Police located the vehicle on Slade Road, arresting the 43-year-old. He's charged with dangerous driving, failure to answer truthfully, refusing a breath analysis and driving under the influence. The man has been summoned to appear in the Port Augusta Magistrates Court next month. Police have been seeking the assistance of the public to help locate a wanted Port Lincoln man. 38-year-old Ronald Durizzi, wanted for recent offending, including alleged domestic violence. Mr Durizzi is being described as Aboriginal, 185 centimetres tall, slim build with black hair and brown eyes. Police appealing for Mr Durizzi to contact the police or attend the Port Lincoln Police Station. Members of the public are asked to report any sightings to police and to not approach the man. Port Augusta Council has opted to not move forward with its original 2021 annual business plan. Council instead deciding to go for option B, which will still see rates rise, but not to the extent of the original.
Listening to the community, Port Augusta Council is making some changes. The original annual business plan, which could have seen residents pay up to 40% more in council rates, is not going ahead. Instead, choosing a second option that is similar but based on the lower residential land use cap being offset by operating reductions, meaning rates will only increase by 2.7%.
To do that, we need to look at what we run and what we operate and make sure that we do it profitably, and where we can receive better revenue to reduce the rates is what we want to do.
But following the second plan, resulting in the council running at a greater loss this financial year. And in order to break even, the council will need to find $500,000 in services elsewhere.
So those discussions will be had. There will be a lot of service level reviews and range reviews conducted in the next 12 months from my perspective.
Even with community funds potentially cut and the cost of services raised, some ratepayers say that they are glad the council is listening.
And they are moving in the right direction. It's not an easy fix for them, so I'm hoping that this is the beginning of some reform to get us back to reasonable rates for our community.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, tourism on the Eyre Peninsula expected to boom this spring. And Spencer Gulf businesses receive regional funding to upgrade their facilities. Welcome back. Tourism on the Eyre Peninsula has seen fluctuations over the past couple of months due to the pandemic. However, Regional Development Australia Eyre Peninsula says the outlook is bright for the region heading into spring.
As the weather warms up, spring is expected to bring some welcome travellers to the Eyre Peninsula.
We are in a favourable position here in the Eyre Peninsula because a lot of our visitors do actually come from within South Australia anyway.
The South Australian Government injecting money through its regional event fund. The cash boost helping old and newly formed events get off the ground.
Obviously, seeing these new events come into the region can inject some fresh energy and life and attract some new visitors.
The Cleve Harvest Festival and a celebration of seafood at Streaky Bay debuting on the Eyre Peninsula this year, while the Tunarama Festival has received 3 years of funding, giving organisers some confidence.
It's really lovely that the state government have recognised that events like ours really need this sort of support.
Also saying the funding will be seen throughout the Port Lincoln community.
Our support is specifically around tourism, so our grant will be used to promote the festival, which means a lot of that money will end up back in the local community.
Business expressions of interest are now open for round 5 of the Great State Vouchers. Regional Development Australia Eyre Peninsula urging local operators to get on board. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Meanwhile, regional tourism businesses are set to benefit from the latest round of grant funding. It's hoped the fund will help create investment in the state's regional tourism industry, supporting operators and encouraging more South Australians to explore their own backyard.
A much-needed cash injection. A total of $2.7 million awarded in the latest round of grants in the South Australian Tourism Commission's Tourism Industry Development Fund, with 18 projects supported across the state.
What it's designed to do is to help businesses upgrade accommodation, upgrade the consumer experience, and it's a really important opportunity.
More than half the $20 million fund has been allocated, with 71 projects receiving $11.1 million in funding since December. Sunny Hill Distillery successful in receiving $25,000, with upgrades including installing a retaining wall for a deck area and fire pit.
To be an outside toilet block is the main part of the grant, which will increase our capacity from 94 people up to 150, so that gives us another 50% capacity. It's also going to enable us to extend the car park.
Over the Edge in Melrose also benefiting from more than $44,000 in funding to expand their cafe kitchen, purchase new bikes, equipment and storage to offer new guided tours.
Look, it's a big difference. I don't think that we would have done it at all if we hadn't won the grant. It's really sort of targeting wellness, outdoors, adventure sort of retreat.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Expression of interests are now open for an operator for the new cafe at the upgraded Whyalla Airport. It's part of broader overall works aimed to improve the safety of travellers and offer a more refined experience for those transiting through.
Making the departure lounge experience more comfortable. The Whyalla City Council asking for applications from businesses to run the cafe at the Whyalla Airport.
We've got an expression of interest out for an operator to run the airport cafe. So we're asking interested parties to put in their expression of interest.
The cafe space now being created as part of an overall upgrade of the airport's terminal and overall facilities. Council seeking an operator who can provide a unique food and beverage service for travellers.
I think what's really exciting about the quality of this airport is when people come in from their flights, their first impression of the city is going to be fantastic.
Other works as part of the makeover, including an upgraded runway, expanded terminal and improved security measures. Council hoping the new space will bring the terminal to life and offer a good experience for waiting passengers.
The airport upgrade is going really well and we're looking for it to open in the next couple of months. It's going to be an exciting facility for Whyalla.
The expression of interest document is available to download on the Council's website. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Whyalla hosts a major trade industry conference showcasing the Upper Spencer Gulf and how the privatisation of South Australia's energy network could increase inequality. Hello again. A major trade expo and conference has begun in Whyalla, showcasing what the Upper Spencer Gulf has to offer. Despite the pandemic, major industry corporations have managed to send out exhibits and keynote speakers to the event.
The heavyweights of industry all converging at Whyalla. The 17th Global Maintenance USG Conference and Trade Expo held at the Whyalla Recreation Centre.
It's an opportunity for, as you can see around you, the exhibitors, and there's 67 here today, to intermingle with the prime contractors. So it's a real opportunity for the Upper Spencer Gulf businesses.
The two-day conference focusing on the regional supply chain and how local Spencer Gulf businesses can cater to the needs of the prime industry companies. GFG Alliance, Nearstar and BHP sending representatives to speak at the event. The Premier will be visiting the Steel City on the second day of the conference and will give a speech to attendees in the morning.
Stephen's been a great supporter of the Global Maintenance Conference for years, so we welcome the opportunity to get in here and have a bit of a talk.
The expo, also an opportunity for the more than 350 attendees to network with each other. Exhibits also open for representatives to peruse and discuss potential opportunities.
So it's about the local buying content. So a number of the primes have local buying as a key focus.
The event will wrap up tomorrow afternoon. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A submission to the Legislative Council Select Committee has revealed increased inequality in the privatisation of the state's electricity network. SA COS's CEO labelling the findings concerning.
The results of privatisation are in, and it's a cause for concern.
We used the economic theory of a leading world economist, Thomas Piketty, to try and look at the privatisation of the electricity system in South Australia.
SA COS's CEO says while the data is not perfect, the conclusion is still pretty clear.
We think that there's plenty of evidence to point to a growth in inequality as a result of that privatisation measure.
But saying it is more alarming, the energy regulator is setting rates of return on capital levels, which will continue to increase inequality, meaning low-income families would be affected. Even more so, the Australian energy regulator, by law, is not allowed to consider the impact of its decisions on economic imbalance.
We need a change to those rules so that we don't get inequality continuing to be built into the regulated asset-based decisions that our energy regulator is going to be making.
SA COS identifying the need for legislative reform, ensuring the regulator takes account for the social impact caused by privatising services.
We also want the government, whenever it's thinking about privatising the next public service, to actually run a ruler over it that says, well, what will this do for inequality in the state?
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A cancer healing centre could be on the horizon for the Gulf, set to benefit the Aboriginal community. Today, local residents were asked for their input into the future facility.
Healing together as a community. A proposal for a new Aboriginal cancer centre offering traditional healing and social support for those in need. Connected Beginnings hosting a public feedback session today at the Port Augusta Yacht Club.
So we really wanted to hear from the community around the elements of a cancer healing model that they would like to see implemented in the near future.
Presenting the organisation's plans for the project and asking community members what they would like to see. The centre set to have non-clinical indoor and outdoor spaces for community members to heal in, while focusing on representation, also aiming to display traditional artwork and have people from different communities offering support.
We're not looking to sort of replace clinical treatment, but it's more around what are the elements that we can add that support people.
The centre may be built in either Port Augusta or Whyalla, as each location services different complexities of cancer.
The decision hasn't really been made around which site we would be implementing, the model. We're really looking for community to guide us on that point as well.
The organisation says the centre will benefit the whole region, so community consultation is key. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll share the cheapest and most expensive spots to fill up your car. And Alex Sykes will join us with all the weather details. See you soon. Welcome back. Autogas drivers are this week being hit hard at the Bowser, with prices jumping across the Yorke Peninsula. But the news is more positive for other parts of the region. Here's Lachlan Itter with this week's Fuel Watch.
There are sporadic changes across the board this week, but for those areas where prices have changed, the shifts are so small you'll likely not even notice them. Starting with unleaded, and only 2 towns of note this week. Port Lincoln is up by 0.2 of a cent. Lincoln, you'll miss it, to the higher end of $1.50 a litre. Still nothing to turn your nose up at compared with the rest of our region. Port Pirie has also gone up, a slightly higher jump there of half a cent, bringing the price to $1.48. That remains the cheapest place to fill up. Kadina, not too far behind, just under $1.50 a litre, $1.53 in Whyalla and $1.54 in Port Augusta. The cost of unleaded stable in those areas. Broken Hill, well, we can't go anywhere at the moment, but if you're looking to top up the tank during your run to the supermarket, prices are unchanged at $1.58 a litre. Over to diesel, and although Port Augusta gets a green arrow here, it's really nothing special, and for all intents and purposes, it's still $1.49 a litre. Port Lincoln and Broken Hill both up by negligible amounts to $1.47 and $1.54 a litre respectively. Port Pirie going up by 0.2 of a cent as well, $1.46 there. Whyalla has seen the biggest jump of half a cent to $1.49, pushing it to the more expensive end of the spectrum. Kadina unchanged at $1.46 a litre. And it's Autogas drivers who are being hit especially hard. Look at Kadina, all the way up to $1.06 a litre. Port Pirie also seeing a jump to $1.04. You'll also pay that in Port Augusta. Yet an hour down the road, our region's lowest price in Whyalla, just 88 cents. Now remember that these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do spot unleaded, diesel or Autogas cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening, everyone. A beautiful day across our region, but showers are in store for tomorrow. Good news for the weekend, though. I'll have more detail on that in just a moment. From 3 p.m. today, Port Lincoln was partly cloudy and 15, Woodner sunny and 19. Kadina got to a top of 18 degrees. Looking further out now, Cooper Pedy and Port Augusta reached 21, Whyalla was 20, Port Pirie was sunny and 19, and it got to 18 in Broken Hill. Taking a look at the satellite image now, cloud in the far far southeast in moist winds is causing a few showers. Areas of cloud entering the far west of the state with a trough are introducing the odd spot of rain. Clear skies elsewhere due to a high pressure and a dry air mass. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Variable winds about 10 knots, seas below 0.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swells 1 to 2 metres, decreasing to around 1 metre at midday. Port Lincoln a possible shower in 21, Cleve partly cloudy and 22, and Woodner 25 degrees. Whyalla will be mostly sunny and 24, Port Augusta 25, Kadina partly cloudy, set to reach a high of 20 degrees. Port Pirie 22, Clare partly cloudy and 18, and Broken Hill will be a sunny top of 20 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, there'll be showers across most of the region on Friday. Port Lincoln and Kadina 19, Port Augusta will reach 26, Whyalla a top of 24, Port Pirie 22, Cooper Pedy will be mostly sunny and 31, Broken Hill also mostly sunny with 23 degrees. And as I mentioned earlier, showers will clear in time for Saturday. Port Augusta and Broken Hill 21, Woodner, Whyalla and Port Pirie to reach 19 degrees, Port Lincoln 17, Kadina 16, Cooper Pedy mostly sunny and 24. And to Sunday now, Port Lincoln, Kadina and Adelaide will have showers and 19. Showers also for Woodner and Port Pirie 22, Port Augusta 24, Cooper Pedy mostly sunny 28, and a sunny 23 degrees in Broken Hill. So not a bad weekend forecast there, Ruby, and that's all the weather from me for tonight. I'll see you soon with an update. It's back to you.
Lovely, thanks for that, Alex. And that's all local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.